Hey, this is Jeff, and one of the things that you can use AI for is to generate some resources for your educational classes. So yeah, you could look up newspaper articles and first-person stuff. That's awesome. But you can also just create it, and you can create it using the prompts that you give it. So you can customize your resources for your particular classes and individual stations if you want. So what we'll do is we'll take a look at Magic School first, and then we'll take a look at how ChatGPT can do the exact same thing, just with a little bit different interface. So let's go over to Magic School first, shall we? So if I type in MagicSchool.ai, this is my homepage, and we go ahead and click Login. And because I've been here before, it automatically takes me to where I want to go, but I could use my Google credentials to get in. On the right-hand side, you'll see something called informational text, and this is where I'm going to generate my materials. So I'm going to click informational text, and it gives me just a couple of basic pieces of information. So what grade level do I want to work on? 8th grade is the default, so I'll use that. Literary nonfiction, expository, argumentative, persuasive, procedural. We'll start with nonfiction. We'll start with a page, and our topic, let's do this one right here. Worker in a factory in the 1900s. Labor conditions, working conditions, low pay, long hours, and danger. All I need to do is hit generate, and just like that, Magic School does its job at producing each of those things, and notice that it breaks that out for me. Now, of course, with AI, there could be hallucinations. It could be wrong, so I want to make sure that I read it, so I'm going to check it out to make sure. But I also want to do one more thing. So I'm going to go back to edit the prompt, and I decided that, you know what? Rather than have just a reading, wouldn't it be cool to put it in the actual voice of one of those workers? So to make it like a worker from the early 1900s, I'll back the grade level down to 5th grade. I'll make it persuasive, like they're really trying to make a point, and I'm going to type in first person. So I'm going to have them do a first person account, and now we'll generate. You'll notice also that I have the ability to copy that and save the resource. So if I copy it, I can then copy it and paste it into a Google Doc. I can drop it into my Google Classroom or wherever I like. Now let's take a look at ChatGPT. Okay, so here we are in ChatGPT. To get there is chat.openai.com, and I put in the same font or the same prompt that we used before. Create a one-page description of working in a factory in the early 1900s in the United States. And we'll click the arrow and let's see what ChatGPT comes up with. So I gave it the same length and I gave it the same headlines. So what I'll do is with anything in ChatGPT, we want to make sure that this is just a starting point. It's not our finishing point. So we want to read through it, make sure that we change our prompt to get exactly what we want. So now that it's finished, we'll change it to make this a first person. We'll also make it so that it's at the 5th grade reading level. And now that we've edited our prompt, let's see what ChatGPT comes up with. And just for fun, for pro-con, what we can do is change this from a business owner's perspective. So I typed in respond to this as the boss of the factory, and now the boss will give his feedback. And now what we can do is copy and paste that into a Google Doc, and we'll have both pro and con. So I'll just take this and I'll just copy the boss point of view. And I have already got my previous one from OpenAI and from MagicSchool AI. So now I've got both. I'll just reformat it. So I've got a pro and a con, and I can put them in one column on one side and the other one in the other column. And I've got a pro-con argument that I've generated myself through AI, and it took me about 4 minutes.